Beyond Bitcoin Hangouts are meant to give everyone a voice, a chance to speak with others who are passionate advocates for expanding the blockchain's use cases out into the world and beyond. Do you have a crypto community you would like to represent and hold open hangouts for? If so, you might find yourself on the path to owning a stake in Beyond Bitcoin. We are looking for people who care about people who want to bring others together, because crypto communities are people. Beyond Bitcoin is a movement of thinkers and doers in the crypto space. And if you feel you are one of them, reach out to beyondbitcoin@gmail.com for more information on how to debut your community's efforts to reach to the stars and beyond. Welcome everyone to another Beyond Bitcoin Hangout. Today is June 10th, 2016, and this is episode 159. Can you guys believe that? 159. Next week is going to be 160. Yeah, it is kind of huge, G-Chicken. I personally am, feeling pretty good about the fact that we have a group of crazy people who are willing to join up and talk about cryptocurrency once a week from all over the world. That's pretty cool. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Does anybody want to let us know who you are, any projects that you're working on or planning on updating us on today, and then we can move forward with the progression of questions?
I'll get it started. My name is Jonathan Bahai. I am the president of Bunker Chain Labs Incorporated, the company which is heading up the PeerPlays project.
Awesome. And you are joined today with what is the specific title that you have?
I'm the PeerPlays communications manager. My name is Michael Maloney, also known as Crypto Prometheus, and I am on the PeerPlays project as well.
My name is Christoph Herring, and I'm the director of BitShares Munich and also the ICOO program. I'm also one of the community members of the BitShares platform, and we have a lot of projects started, and we're looking forward to make a little announcement pretty soon about ICOO itself, but also about Stealth. We will have a new development. We're going to take over the Stealth development, and we'll announce in the forums in a short couple of days what we're going to do, how we're going to fund everything, and what going to be the new features with Stealth and the BitShares platform.
Okay, well, I will say my name is Fuzzy, aka Justin, one of the volunteers for Beyond Bitcoin. I have been trying to bring these crypto nerds together every week for quite some time so we can work together and build relationships and kind of find our way together in this little set of caves where we only have a couple candles and we're all trying to map it out together as we go forward. So this has been an awesome experience so far, and I want to just thank you guys and thank everybody else who's listening. And I also want to say ShareBits is something that we are still working on behind the scenes, so I will give you guys more updates in the future about that, probably within the next 3 weeks. And with that said, let's go ahead and get into this new little format that we're trying out. I'm on the steemit.com/Beyond Bitcoin channel, and we post every after the hangout, we post within about 24 to 48 hours an RSVP for the next hangout. And in those RSVP threads for the hangouts, we ask that people ask questions or post an RSVP their own particular projects, and then lobby to get upvotes so we can help get the community curating the content that we're going to be covering during these hangouts and the priority thereof. But it looks like people are starting to give a lot of input within the first few weeks of us testing this out. So thank you everybody for helping us. The first comment comes from Steam Power, and this was 7 days ago. He says, "This is a great resource, and I am always looking forward to the weekly session. If you're only listening to the recording, you're missing out the best part, community engagement and live chat. Also, generally, we have an after party, which is just a lot of topics go discussion and can range from 10 minutes to hours after the official hangout is finished. If you're not a mumbler, check it out and hope to see you every Friday. The next one is from Bloggers Club, and this is CCEDK, but it's too long to read. So, Ronny, are you here? Pass Ronny up, and if he's here whenever we get back to him, no problem, man. No problem. So Xerox is saying that he cannot join today. Unfortunately, he is invited to the birthday party of one of the inventors of MP3s. Can't really deny that I'd probably go there too, Xerox. That's a once in a lifetime thing, and everybody loves their MP3s. Thank you. And okay, here, Jonathan and Crypto Prometheus, we've got here the PeerPlays project is going to be giving an update, and I hear that you guys have some really cool stuff going on behind the scenes, so I'm going to shut up and hand the torch to you.
Good day, everybody. Jonathan Bai speaking for the PeerPlays project. Giving an update for this week. In case you haven't been on Cointelegraph in the last week, you might notice that we have been the hottest trending story for the last week. Even when news of the 9 billion market cap for Bitcoin came out, we were on top of that. So that was very, very exciting. The crowdfund has been going very well. Really excited to see the new community that's coming around us and in this project, and very happy to see that. So in between all that, we've been very busy working on a revised proposal for the DAO. When we put out our original proposal, we got a lot of feedback, and we've taken a lot of time to put together a revised version, which we believe is going to be best for both the DAO and for PeerPlays. So it has been posted. So if you go to peerplays.com/news, you will see that we have a new revised DAO proposal that is now available for viewing. And that is what has happened in this past week. Going forward, we are going to look at putting together preparations for voting on this proposal. And yeah, that is the PeerPlays project for today. It's very exciting what's happened this past week. One of the highlights, actually, in terms of this new proposal is the sidechains. That was something which, from the feedback we got, was very important in terms of going forward with the DAO. We have actually developed a method for being able to sidechain with Ethereum. And that would be part of this proposal if it ends up being voted in by the DAO. So that is a very nice. Yeah, this is monumental. This is a very monumental development. The framework is very exciting, and it's not like anything which BitShares community has explored in the past in terms of looking at sidechains. It's a whole new method. So sidechains was a major one. We have also increased the share for PeerPlays to the DAO to 20%. And the ask price on that is 1.2 million in Ether. So that is generally the two major revisions of the proposal. They are significant in terms of the impact and what it means for the DAO and for PeerPlays. So that's all for now.
Would that be a one-to-one pack with a sidechain? So when Ethereum, basically, if somebody's sending one Ethereum token to the Graphene blockchain, you're going to have one Ethereum IOU?
Chris, I'm sorry. Was that Chris that was talking there? I wasn't. Yeah, sure. I would say, the specifics of the sidechain are Dan Notstein's expertise. I wish I could understand the implications of it. We still have to have a meeting and kind of brief myself so I understand how to answer questions like that. But if you have any technical questions about it, Dan Notstein, if you want to get a hold of him on the BitShares forum or whatever, should be able to answer those questions for you.
All right, because it's going to be very interesting if you could have those kind of like basic block features for the Graphene toolkit that we could also implement that maybe in the future into the core BitShares blockchain and can offer that basically also to the DEX.
Yeah, as we've outlined it in the new DAO proposal, the framework that we're setting up is going to not only allow a graphene to Ethereum sidechain for any graphene chain, but it's also going to the framework that he's setting up is going to be a lot of groundwork already laid in terms of moving forward with creating a graphene to Bitcoin sidechain and also graphene to graphene sidechains.
That's pretty cool. Maybe a short other question, since you posted more or less a BitShares blockchain topic in the Ethereum community. What was your feedback? Did you get any kind of heat? Were the people interested in it? What was your response from the giant, the DAO community?
The majority of the response that we got actually was not on the forum itself. Jonathan has been fielding phone calls, quite a few phone calls, emails, live chats. The response has sort of really been overwhelmingly positive in terms of a lot of people telling us that this is what the DAO is looking for, to sponsor decentralized autonomous communities and to do so in such a way that is profitable and could be profitable for the DAO. So if you're talking about sort of maybe the historical animosity that may have existed between different communities, specifically in BitShares, we haven't seen a whole lot of that. And I think my sort of theory about that is that there's just there's a huge new wave of people that are moving into this ecosystem. Cryptocurrencies and the crypto sphere in general that have come in over the past few months, and I think there's a lot of new energy out there, and there's a lot of new curiosity, and so that's all been very positive in terms of being able to start to get the message out and show people what it is that graphene is really capable of. The main thing that I've noticed, I think in general, is just that people don't have the awareness. They don't even know what it is or what we've already accomplished, right, in terms of these features existing now as we speak. They're not, a lot of what we have claimed to be able to build has actually already been built. But anyway, yeah. Hopefully that answers the question you were referring to.
I think so, yeah, because what we are doing, like to give a little bit overview about our current stage with ICOO, we did right now we did a little bit of a rebranding. We have a new logo for ICOO. If you go to our website my-icoo.com, you're gonna see our new logo, also our new color sets and so on. As everything is basically ready now, and I'm planning to announce ICOO officially in the Bitcoin talk forums, Bitcoin Garden, but also in the Ethereum forums, in the Dash, Dogecoin, Litecoin. So I'm going to reach out to all major currencies to announce ICOO there as a new blockchain 2.0 wallet. Also reaching out to all the media and press talking about ICOO. So we're going to make it a little bit more fuss about that. And I was curious, like what kind of feedback I could expect from the communities. Are they like, oh no, another BitShares one? Or are they like, hey, this is something maybe that I really want to take a look into, and I'm looking forward to get this really cool social messenger and wallet in my fingers so that I can really use my currencies that I have today. And as you can imagine, if you talk to all those different communities, a one-to-one pack or a sidechain would be elemental for us as well, because then you can really use the ICOO app with your Dogecoin or with your Litecoin or whatever you have. You can just use it, and it's basically going to open tons of new doors for the whole community.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely encourage getting that out as many places as possible, because like I said, I think just at this stage, there's there's a lot of curiosity out there, and you know, the amount of people that we've been able to introduce simply through issuing the PeerPlays placeholder asset on the BitShares decentralized exchange, and you know, as part of our crowd sale offering, requiring people to go on and open an account in order to receive their PeerPlays tokens. That whole process has really been something that's just gotten a lot of positive reviews, and people haven't known up to this stage what it is that we have, and but yeah, the side in terms of the side chains opening up all kinds of new avenues, and the implications are pretty staggering in terms of crypto economics as well. The links that can be created instantaneously for the transfer of the value, and this is kind of blockchains being sort of inherently self-contained and self-referential, and the individual silos of activity up until this point. We're going to begin to link them together, and the economics that are involved in the transfer of value and relationships between the communities, I think is going to be an incredibly positive development for the ecosystem as a whole. So, but yeah.
Did you actually reach out to the Hyperledger project and their developers?
I can't say definitively, but I don't think that I'm not sure if Dan reached out to them or if he read a number of the did they publish a white paper or some sort of primer on sidechains at all?
Well, they are trying to be basically the bridge between all the different blockchains. They have basically all major software development companies as a partnership. You pay $5,000 just to be a member, to be listed on their website. And it could be maybe something that we should really look into as a graphene community, basically, because they are linking Consensus and IBM and all the big players are part of this initiative. And they are trying basically just to bridge the big corporate blockchains with the financial blockchains that we are operating on. Ethereum is also a big part. And it's not a blockchain itself, it's just a bridge to move value from one chain to another. So I think it could be very, very beneficial, especially if Bunker Chain Labs has the funds to reach out to them and to see if there's any kind of synergies.
I think Jonathan's just texted me now and said that Fabian Xerox has been in touch with the Hyperledger people. So I think that is something that's in the works right now in terms of trying to see what they're doing and maybe be able to sort of share what we're doing as well. So yeah, that's cool.
All right, sounds pretty good. I just want to use a little bit of the time before we can go on with Ronny. I just wanted to share some insights about the current topic about stealth. So we are planning right now to continue the development of the stealth features because they are an essential element for ICOO and also for our point of sales structures. As you can imagine, private people, they don't really care about if everything is on a blockchain visible and everybody can see it. However, if you're talking to retail partners and stores and hotels and so on, you can imagine they don't want that all of their daily traffic and consumptions are publicly available. So they are really looking forward to have stealth features. And I think with our strategy and with especially what we have already achieved so far, stealth is something that can completely hide any kind of transaction while it's still validated on the blockchain. And I will publish in the next couple of days a further announcement how we are going to plan to implement stealth on the BitShares blockchain, what are the next steps and development guidelines, and also how we are planning to finance the whole thing. As you probably know, stealth tokens have been created. It's a feedback asset, so we are probably going to do another crowdfunding for the stealth feature. And everybody who's interested to support us can buy parts of these stealth tokens and can basically get something like a kickback for the upcoming fees. I will also send you or give you a return on investment calculator so that you can calculate for yourself how much money you could make with this kind of investment in the future if you have a bigger growth in the DAX and in the platform itself.
Well, that's some really incredible update right there. So you're saying that the stealth is going to have its own token, and you guys are going to do kind of like an ICO of it?
Yes, that's what we are looking forward to do.
So out of curiosity, are you looking to sort of improve the actual features that stealth is, the way that stealth is integrated? Are you just looking to maybe simplify the GUI, or what are your plans in terms of modifying and improving the stealth feature?
Well, we are going to basically pick up where Bytemaster left, because most of the code is already done, just it's not been really integrated into the GUI. So we are going to look into the backup features. We think we have a potential solution how we can basically create backups, and also when you lose the key, the transaction key, that you can still get your money back. This is very essential for everything. And on the other end, we are also going to give out a proposal how we are going to implement the stealth features very easily into the current interface, so that people can really use it.
Awesome, that's really exciting.
And do you guys know roughly how long it would take in terms of like a timeline to get it up and running?
I cannot give you a direct answer to that. That is Ken's territory. He has all the plans with his devs.
Okay, so no timeline currently, but it sounds like they're... Go ahead, sorry, Ken.
No, it's okay. I was just saying no timeline right now. We're still getting the milestones put together, and I can't finish the milestones in the job description until I know exactly which type of ring signatures we're going to be going with. That's groundbreaking stuff. So choosing the right technology there, and one that has been proven already, and one that we can still build on, is what I'm going for.
Sounds like a good deal. Why don't you guys keep us updated? And this seems like a topic that you could definitely post under the Steam at RSVP thread for the weekly hangout if you guys ever want to update us on it, or you want to cover this at more in depth. So we are moving on next to CCDK. Ronny, are you there? Ronny?
Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Okay. Can I go ahead?
We are all waiting for that voice like molasses.
Well, okay. Well, finally I managed to actually find some time here, and I'm sorry if it's not really lack of interest that I haven't been here in the last weeks. It's just simply been the lack of time finding just a few minutes even. But I'm happy to be here, and I would just like to share with you at least some of the things that we're working on that are coming up, and basically maybe share also with you my overall idea of why we're working towards speaking so much about a decentralized conglomerate. I am myself. I mean, it's funny with a thing like that, but myself, I'm actually seeing the picture more and more clear as we go. It's strange. I had an idea from the beginning, and it's all coming to pieces. But there's even still a ways to go, simply because a decentralized conglomerate as such is something where you really can build from the core and out. And I think, like I'm saying, generally the sky is the limit, and so is whatever we can build on this conglomerate. So yeah, that was just a short introduction on that one. I would like just to take the easy part, and that's the introduction. Easy, yeah. The easy part as to introduction of what we are adding on OpenLedger and BitShares platform in the coming week. And that's actually, we're basically rolling out the OMNI platform, or the OMNI, how do you say that? The OMNI assets and OMNI itself, the OMNI layer, yes. So we're rolling out all of the assets in next week. So that means OMNI, because it has to be OMNI, the currency itself. It's not the one really where there's a lot of can you say motion or traffic, but with that comes then Tether and the currencies Tether USDT and Euro T, and as well the Agora tokens, the Made Safe coin, and the Sunero. And I believe all of them will, one way or the other, add some added synergy to the BTS platform and OpenLedger, and as you know, in the end, the decentralized conglomerate as such. So there will be probably 2 to 3 articles coming out in the next 14 days introducing OMNI as such in connection with OpenLedger, and then Tether as an added way of access to fiat and easy access to currencies in general. So it's not that I want to make it short, because I think it's quite big news and there's a lot of work in that coming up, but I have a bit more to mention. So those are the good news in terms of currencies added in next week. On top of that, we are adding actually a kind of a pre-launch of the reputation token, because I do have a connection where I'm able to add a good amount of reps on OpenLedger. So because I believe we need that asset anyways, once it's being launched, it's a nice way to actually introduce that next week. So that will be open.rep also. It's coming next week. And what else? Yeah. Then we have, of course, the ICOO OpenLedger, the ICOO, we call it. And in Japan, they actually call it ICOO. And it means coming up, something coming up actually. So I figured, okay, let's keep that one. So we have ICOO for the Westerners and the ICOO for the Far East. That ICOO is what I believe a really nice future connector to many startups, and I think everybody will see very soon whatever, you know, all the different prospects it has. And ICOO is just like Obits and BTSR. They are added factors or added engines in the total picture of this decentralized conglomerate. And I mentioned that earlier today also, that it's basically, I mean, I guess it gets more clear now that the decentralized conglomerate or OpenLedger, the decentralized conglomerate, is on top of the BitShares 2 platform. It's sometimes hard to really explain this way of picture, but it's nice to see or think that it's an organization on top of the BitShares platform, and basically then with that on top, everything is possible. With the ICOO, we have really a nice pre-launch ICO coming up, expected introduction next Friday, or could be nice even for this Hangout to have the start. But we're talking between 17th and 20th of June that this will be launched as an ICO. It's really hush hush still, so nobody really knows except from the people who, the developers behind that ICO and myself as one of the people actually. I don't see it anywhere mentioned on any places in the forums, so I guess it's very hush hush. But when you hear also that, according to themselves, I'm not the expert, but I've been sharing the information, the base of this currency with some people who is expected to know more about the technical aspects behind it. They say themselves that it's the good. I mean, it's the how do you say, the best of Wave and Lisk put together coming out, and I mean, some people says that this is a minimum of 5,000 Bitcoin ICO. I am myself at least thinking, well, if it can create some added interest to OpenLedger as one of the people or one of the, what can you say, platforms where it will be initially pre-launched and then afterwards one of the major exchanges, then I'm all good for that. So that one is really an exciting one, and you will know later. I just cannot say too much more right now, but you will know later that this one is one which I've or at least some of the base of it I've actually been working with previously. So the reason why they contacted me even from the beginning was because I have been supportive of that throughout time. I guess I've said a little now, but anyway, I didn't say it all. So what is nice to me is that the different currencies where I give a certain attention, even though they might not have a lot of attention in the world, the fact that I actually show them attention seems to turn back or come back to me later on as a kind of a thank you note, showing their appreciation, giving me a first shot at it. So that kind of confirms some of my, what it's all been about, that I'm, that I try to support certain currencies more for the ideology behind it than actually a potential gain. But later on, it turns out that there actually might be some gain in it. And that's, it could be proof on this one. Time will show. But that's something that's coming up in.
And when is this ICO going to start?
That will, according to themselves, they're planning on the ICO 17/18. So it's in next week, yeah. But on the 20th is my idea. I mean, I'm basically sitting here and waiting because I would like to, share or at least put up something with it all. But they want to blow it out like, a few days before or something. I don't know if that will work, but I guess time will show if that will work. But anyway, I've offered them my package now. This package that you may have seen also on the BitShares forum, the one that I presented as the value proposition for ICO or for ICOO, and it really, I feel that this way of offering a package where everything is included to any startups as such, it could not only help creating a lot of extra attention to OpenLedger because we will be using lots of the service via OpenLedger. We will also include a lot of the different ecosystems on the decentralized conglomerate to actually offer that service. So this I just got lost there. My mind is really, it's so complicated, but because my mind is flying everywhere, and and sometimes I get lost.
Is this where you get the name of the runner?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just gonna say, Ronny the Runner is actually coming from the time of my soccer career, because I just kept running, even though nobody else believed in the ball. I actually believed, and I kept running until I actually caught it at many times. I mean, I actually reached out and caught the impossible, and it's funny how it could even be put in some ways, even on what I'm trying to achieve now. So I guess it's a name which can be kept hanging, but running is also because I just keep chasing the things. Yeah. Any challenge is not
so Ronny, can I
yes, please.
Can I throw a ball out in front of you real quick?
Do that. I'll try to catch it.
Okay. You mentioned the Decentralized Conglomerate, and you have some articles out there for anybody who wants to read into it in terms of the finding out more in detailed about this. Right now, the question is, can you describe for anybody who hasn't read this article or talked to us, or is not really somebody who's in the BitShares ecosystem seeing all this stuff going on, what a decentralized conglomerate is, and in this conglomerate that you're building, what elements or services are being provided or planned to be provided thus far?
I think that in general you can take simply and say, okay, what is a conglomerate? Yeah, and a
Sure.
conglomerate is an organization of different, or rather one bigger organization with a lot of smaller organizations or ecosystems inside it, or placed on one chart of working entities together. And normally you see them in so many different ways, but you have never seen them before as decentralized. So the definition itself, decentralized conglomerate, is the first one. I mean, I've been trying to search, and basically there's no definition before the one we come up with. So a decentralized conglomerate in itself is the first. So we're trying to make history here. And so, yeah. So this decentralized conglomerate, or the conglomerate we're working on, is based on an amount of different ecosystems. And at the moment we have OBITS, BTSR, and ICOO. BTSR based on the BitTeaser advertising network. OBITS, you could say, is based on OpenLedger itself and its revenues, but we are more pushing it towards, so that we are kind of trying to grab the US community and to make it more, that's why we're basically saying it's powered by the people, because they're essential in making the asset OBIT, what can you say, consumable to the US, avoiding any kind of idea of this kind of idea where you say it's a Ponzi scheme or whatever. It's basically where we go in and say the Bloggers Club 500 and all the people behind is basically the power that allows OBITS and OpenLedger in itself to grow, because whenever you go out there and spread the news, you allow people to enter OpenLedger and start using the platform, trading, spending money. Those fees are then coming through the system, and parts of those are then actually going to OBITS and paying the bloggers for actually spreading the words. So we have a circle there, and that makes more sense in terms of legal framework to the US. Although in Europe you might say, well, whatever kind of asset that gives value and creates certain revenue, that's fine with me. But according to my information, it's more important to focus on, let's say, people behind it instead of the revenues itself, because the revenues comes from what? It doesn't necessarily come. I mean, if there's no activity on OpenLedger, there's no revenue and there's no interest. How is the revenue increased? Well, it's partly because of the word of mouth and what can you say? People spreading the word, in general. So the word of mouth, that's Bloggers Club 500. In the same way, you might say BitTeaser advertising network. We call it a blockchain-based advertising network, because we are including BTSR as a future reward system on the BitTeaser advertising network. So everybody there getting the payout, or working for whatever reason as ambassadors on BitTeaser, will be paid out rewards in BTSR. And again, that is the advertising network of BitTeaser, and BTSR will or is supporting all the other ecosystems, advertising whatever. Yeah, you see in the value proposition of ICOO that I actually call it an unknown factor or whatever, because you don't know how intense that could be in the future. The more people we get involved, the more people backing the Bloggers Club 500 and the BitTeaser ambassadors, the bigger it really gets. And we all knows that when people themselves speak and what can you say, recommend, it really counts for much more than any stupid guy saying on TV, this is the best. Yeah? So this kind of word of mouth thing is what we're trying to achieve by these different. Well, it's a people-based platforms or ecosystem.
Ronny, could you say something a little bit about your plans with the new CCDK?
Yes, CCDK is basically a right hand or a support for OpenLedger, for the decentralized conglomerate, you might say. Yeah, because what was before was an exchange, an engine in CCDK. We said we are focusing more and more on OpenLedger itself as an exchange. So why should we keep CCDK? So that was the first part. Then we joined forces, or we have been working with the BitX for a while, and then the agreement with them, where we then changed it into Coinsbank. It allows me then to basically say, okay, we have a circle on, well, circle isn't, but it's a cooperation at least between three parties, where the main goal is to increase awareness of cryptocurrencies worldwide. And we all have different values and assets to offer. And as you can see here, CCDK is basically, it has the certain people behind supporting OpenLedger and the decentralized conglomerate and its ecosystems. It's like in some cases, it's a motivator and the starting engine of all of this. And the Coinsbank, in future at least, will be a liquidity provider and a place where you really, if you may have been in doubt, then at least when Coinsbank is then adding these different features where you will eventually see even the cards, the debit cards being connected, it will be a wow effect all over. But stuff like that, it does take time, and we've seen the different complications there might be where we start offering the nano card on CCDK, where BitX worked perfectly, but we never really caught up and got the same technology that they offered, simply because of the restrictions or regulations or whatever behind always changed. And nobody else really knows stuff like that, except people like myself who is involved and basically try to make the best of everything. But sometimes you just can't because bigger powers are involved. But now you could say that CCK has a new goal or new road to take, and that's like making sure that OpenLedger prosper and becomes best possible. Yeah. And
this is a good place to segue real quick.
What? Sorry.
Could you fit in real quick how the rep token is going to be used as well, since we're in this kind of area?
Well, to me personally, I'm thinking a rep token as a, right now, it's really like that with me. I get motivated also by the way people around me speak, and if they are able to catch my attention enough, I'm getting excited. Yeah, and then the excitement gets me thinking, okay, let's act on it. And obviously the reputation token has been in the media or been thrown around for a long time, but I haven't had the time to really focus on it until a close partner of mine says, okay, why don't we introduce the rep token in this time of the pre-launch, under ICOO still on, even though the ICO is over, but we still have a time before it's being launched. So why not add it? And I said, okay, let me look into that. So we are basically, and I spoke with Dan at Block Trades also, so that's not an issue there. So that's why we are adding it. What is coming with it, that's for after. I think that The first initial part was to add it, and then any kind of what can you say, synergies coming from what it's offering, it's after that, in my mind, and simply more because of lack of time than anything else. But I realize it has some great potential, and I really want to I want to grasp, or I want to capture all those nice potential currencies out there and give them a place on OpenLedger and BitShares platform, and then see if we can grow them. Yeah, and I think the more, I mean, it comes in good, or it takes a, what can you say? It's a good thread and combination with the idea of even presenting Coinsbank as a cryptocurrency, what can you say, platform in future. Because if we are able to add Coinsbank, or if, I mean, because what you have to think, but you cannot go public with this. But I'm saying Coinsbank is working Litecoin and Bitcoin right now, but the idea is to become a cryptocurrency platform just like Polo. They have the money, they have the power, they have the debit cards to even add extra interest from any of these currencies to drag all their users to Coinsbank. And the fact that we are then connecting all of this by adding the different cryptocurrencies with the people of CCDK that we have actually hired. We've hired them especially for adding cryptocurrencies to Coinsbank. I mean, Coinsbank themselves, their own devs, they have a certain focus, and that's Litecoin and Bitcoin. So the agreement is in general that anything else is added by back-end people that we have hired, and they are already working on that, which is coming up in, we spoke 2 months. We spoke 2 months, but it seems like it's a little more, yeah. But it generally makes me think, and that's my hope also, that on October 6th, when we actually are sitting in Belek and Turkey in this summit, that we are actually able to say, wow, look at what we've achieved. We have added so and so many cryptocurrencies. We've added actually, we have had them support or put them up as support on debit cards as well. And everything looks like really, now we're gonna go past Poloniex and so on. Yeah, I mean, that's the aim. We're gonna beat Poloniex, but it takes some powers, of course, some energy, and some lots of what can you say? Well, lots of economy behind, lots of liquidity, and I really, knowing the people behind Coins Capital. Sorry, that's actually my wife calling. I have to. I'm hanging up on her. Don't tell her. So okay. But anyway, I'm just too busy here now. But I just wanted to say that Coinsbank is really it's gonna create lots of good things in the future, and I'm sure it's gonna bring lots of good stuff even for BitShares, because I believe.
Do you see like a future integration or synergy between Coinsbank and OpenLedger?
Of course, because I see, first of all, Coinsbank becoming a gateway like we have right now with CCDK. They will provide a lot, a lot stronger support, obviously, in many ways. How it will, or in which way it will create the best way synergy, I haven't fully what can you say, come up with the vision right now, but I know the fact that they are putting the gateway of Tether on Coinsbank right now, like they have on Bitfinex. The idea from Coinsbank is not to put OMNI as such. I mean, all the OMNI assets, that's my work, that's CCDK in general, even if we wanted to. But the idea is not to put those on Coinsbank. The idea is to put the gateway of Tether on Coinsbank, just like they have on Bitfinex. So you can imagine then that we have Coinsbank, we have the Tether gateway there, we have, like you even would see in that article that we are reading at the moment, is the reason why assets or the smart coins are, what can you say, lacking a little right now. It's basically still because there's not enough liquidity support. I mean, enough how do you say,
demand for it?
Demand or supply, I guess you could say. I mean, there's nobody who really wants, personally, I don't like to deal with something where you cannot have an easy access to it. Yeah, I mean, you have $100,000, you buy BitUSD for it, and the next day you want to sell it. You can't do that on OpenLedger or BitShares right now. Yeah, so that's, of course, that should be a future goal even for everybody on BitShares to find out how that works. But I think
Totally agree. Yes.
But I think to work that or to find out, you need to add liquidity on the platform in general. Yeah, and then I think we have some people here. Somehow, I don't know why or how, but somehow Tether has managed to get basically first place now at the moment in terms of pegged currency. I mean, Nubits is down, and Tether is suddenly. If you had asked me 1 year ago, or even maybe 1.5, I don't know. I mean, Tether. Yeah, when was that? Maybe 1 year ago, Tether came out like it did now, right? I think. But if you had asked me 1 year ago, I would have said Tether was in third place. Right now, it seems to me that Tether is in first place in terms of fiat-pegged currencies. And Nubits would have normally had a first place in my mind, and the smart coins to second place. But right now, it seems like smart coin stays in second place and Nubits in the third. And that makes it even promising as well for smart coins, because it's all a question then of finding out how to support the liquidity on the smart coins. I hate to say it, but I mean, anyone who wants to invest or use the BitUSD or BitEuro has to have an easy in and out of this. You cannot allow yourself, or you cannot afford to lose 5 to 10% of the value in order to accept whatever offers is out there. Yeah, I mean, that's not the way to do it. So and Tether is working it fine by providing. I mean, look, they even go into Coinsbank and say, well, we put up 600,000 euro liquidity support. So yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that even Nubits missed. They did not provide liquidity support when they started. I asked them even at the very beginning, I said, the best way you could do was when you go out and offer 400,000 Nubits, you should actually put up $400,000 in a bank supporting the peg. But they never did that. They provided a certain amount in Bitcoins and so forth, building it up in different ways. I mean, it's all a question of what is the future goal of this, but to peg or to go out and say always $1 with Nubits, Dan also did say it, but he also found out that smart coins was difficult to keep up with. Yeah, I mean, you get clever. Yeah. You get more clever by the time, and you find out that that not everything is as clear as you actually imagine. Even no matter how clever you are, there's always some kind of question mark to it, and even I'm sure that is to Tether, but they found they found a way right now, and a way where they can actually go out and say, wow, that actually sounds interesting. Yeah, and even the article that I've had made up now that is waiting to be published in next week, that made me think, wow, it does look promising. Yeah. So this content writer I have, he actually sold me even the idea. So let's see if
and Tether is a pretty good technology. The way that they do it, they back it themselves from a central authority, essentially, right?
Exactly. And I think that's perhaps. Let me just tell you. Let me just show you. Let me just share with you.
Sorry to interrupt, but I have to run for another meeting. Thank you very much all for your time, and let's catch up next week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. And real quick, I just muted you, Ronnie, because whenever I'm talking, it sounds like there's a lot of feedback. Chris and them were talking a while back about the potential of paying worker proposals with BitUSD, and I know that Xerox has a trading bot that would provide liquidity. Do you see any of those as potential answers to helping the liquidity of BitUSD and being able to start using those market pegged assets in addition to Tether?
I think you need to. I mean, I think it needs more than that, but it needs also, I guess, a bigger amount of people who's ready to support it, both ways. Yeah. I have a guy who is waiting, who's just completely lost in, I mean, with love to the BitShares platform and OpenLedger in general, from the US, Los Angeles, and he's basically he has a big project to be added onto the platform where it involves the BitUSD among others. So there are obviously many. I mean, there are things coming up that makes it how do you say, promising, or that makes it possible to believe that BitUSD actually has a place in the future books. Yeah. But I think it's really a question of solidity, consolidating or ensuring that this smart coin is not only focusing or working on the base of $140,000, but I mean, I think that if it has to be strong, it has to be supported by minimum 1 million. Yeah. And even then, you cannot do like Nubits, thinking that it's first we need to get it out and supporting the peg, and then we will have the various merchants and people using it as a way of payment. I mean, they ran out of money in the time by thinking that way, because there was no marketing, and now they're actually saying we need to get it out to be used in order to have success. And it's the same way with the BitUSD and BitEuro. I mean, it needs to be worked among people as a way of paying things, so that you can constantly build on that. Every time you're using it, every time you're using BitEuro or BitUSD or Bit Chinese, I mean renminbi, every time you're doing that, you are confirming the, what can you say, the reason for its existence. Just the same way as I am putting out those ecosystems on the decentralized conglomerate. Every time I am adding a feature that confirms the reason for these ecosystems to exist, every time you have some added people believing in it. Yeah. And it's the same thing with those smart coins. You cannot just say it's good. You need to prove it by using it and by offering different and you said it yourself. I mean, worker proposals, yes, but I mean, if you build a worker proposal on the base of that, you need to make sure that whoever gets the money for that can actually cash out whenever he needs, unless of course he gets a certain percentage for holding it or whatever. I mean, but always when you offer these these projects, I mean, especially when you're talking pegged assets. I mean, when you're promising a pegged asset, obviously you need to be able to cash out at that value. It's not like OBIT, BTSR, and
Or above it, right?
and ICOO for that matter, who are all based on even demand and supply, and eventually based on even the buyback or the increase of demand or the increase of traffic in whichever of these ecosystems. It all allows added value, which allows an increasing interest for the asset, which allows an increasing price, and blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, all of it is a question of action. like they say, action speaks louder than
It's a
words.
matter of
Right now-
scale of action, is what it
Yeah,
says.
right now I'm speaking, but normally I think you can see that I'm trying to act also. So I just wanted to share with you.
So
what-
you just real quick to cover it.
Go ahead.
Before we move on any further, Ronnie, you've talked about the ICOO, and this is going to be essentially a crowdfunding service, right?
It's a combination. No, I think you can say, well, it is a crowdfunding service, but you can say there are 2 points in this. There's a pre-launch ICO service. So basically, we are offering the service to investors who wish to trade throughout the time of the ICO. We offer them the option to then buy in on OpenLedger via an escrow account, and this way trade back and forth. Yeah, it is like you say, you put up a certain amount, whatever you wish to buy this token for. You send that to an OpenLedger escrow account set by this purpose. We basically, or whoever runs this account, would then buy the necessary tokens from the issuer of this ICO at these IOUs on OpenLedger, and the buyer is able to trade on the market. Yeah, and of course, the way I think an increasing amount of people will find out that you are not limited to trade only on whatever we are offering, Bitcoins or BitShares or Ethereum, or whatever. Anyone, I mean, I'm trying to do that every time I'm writing. I'm saying you are able to choose your market yourself. So when you're able to do that, you're also able to market it yourself. I mean, you have your own market, you market it in your own country or wherever. I mean, there's a lot of things coming up that way. Yeah, I mean, that's what I love with this, the freedom to choose. But it's also, I mean, but everybody chooses the sure thing. Yeah, but the fact is that on BitShares platform, you have the freedom to choose. Imagine liberty for all. That's US all over. Yeah. So I mean, this is so the ICOO is a pre-launch service, and it's a service for startups. We are offering then as well anyone who wishes to perform and do an ICO on OpenLedger. We are able to do that, or we offer them basically the marketing service for an ICO. No matter what, that income is added to the ICOO asset. So obviously there's a fee combined with the pre-launch token, and there's a bigger amount connected with any of these other services, and all of those services are presented on CCDK. So CCDK will basically provide packages in a similar way as you might see if you know GoDaddy. When you buy a domain, if any of you have tried the GoDaddy system,
you can add on new things onto your card.
Basically, you offer various services, and you are then able to choose the services that you like, and you go at the what can you say, checkout. Yeah, you go to the checkout and you pay. Yeah, so you order whatever kind of services on CCDK you wish to use, and you pay at the checkout. And at the checkout, you pay in ICOO. So you pay in ICOO. You need to basically. So it also means that I don't think actually it's going to be only ICOO. I think it's going to be ICOO, Bitcoin, and fiat currency probably. But the bottom line is that everything, even if it's purchased in another one, it has to be converted into ICOO assets by the time it reaches back to the ICOO account, because those funds, it will show on CCDK. Some funds are 50%, some funds are 60%, but in general, 50% of all the funds on CCDK will be, what can you say, given to the ICOO asset as a profit, as a revenue. Yeah. So people don't realize that. People don't realize that at the moment, and it's hard for me to get all the messages out in the right time. And I'm even thinking of even delaying. I mean, what do you say? Not delaying, but allowing the ICO to go for another month, to go for another month, simply for people to realize the potential revenue that will actually come from CCDK in the future. Because
so you're talking about extending the window of opportunity for investment.
Yeah, I mean, I think why? Well, it will obviously it will be good in many ways, but eventually it might be that, imagine that we're doing buyback all the time. It means that whoever bought ICO right now, they will eventually benefit because we're doing buyback and burning, at least until we have the voting system up. Then we will allow people to vote for a combination or only dividend or whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is another service that I didn't speak yet, but I mean, the reason why we hired a 5-man team of marketing, basically going out there, posting on forums, social networks, setting up Twitter accounts, and basically being everywhere, hiring 2.5 C++ developers, 1 front-end designer and developer, 3 people in the gaming section. We also hired. I mean, we have a 16-man team right now, and I think 2 months ago we were 12, but not officially. I guess officially we were maybe 6 or 8. But in the last 2 months, we basically connected all of them and said, now you're fully hired with CCDK. It's time for some action. So the fact, I mean, I was going to say that the voting system they are working on right now, that's why some people may have seen in BitShares Telegram that Evan is asking, because we of course need to first of all know if some work has been done on the voting already. And if so, in which proportion, and how can we continue that and finish it? Because that's one of the tasks I put first, as the first task for these C++ developers, was to finish the voting system for the holders in general. Yeah, to present that. So that's the first.
Yeah.
Then comes the smart coin, this DGX. The demurrage thing they have to find out, but they need to kind of understand the full of the back-end core of the BitShares platform to go into that one, I think. And that's why they say they wanted to wait with that. But then we're having the dividend also coming up. And I mean, I want all these people to push everything they can into the core, but obviously some of it will have to be paid for in future. But I told my team that in order for the community of BitShares to accept to pay for something, the best way possible is obviously to prove some value first. Prove that you're worth whatever first, and then go out and offer a worker proposal for something else, like the bonds market or whatever. Yeah, I mean, again, the sky is the limit in future with that. Because I think that
Sure.
the whole idea is that we start off with these amount of people, but one of the future ecosystems that we are presenting is a developer platform. And that's coming up actually maybe in November this year. So a developer platform where we are basically taking like bubbles. Let's put it this way. We're saying we're putting up a platform where we're saying it's like a dating portal. Yeah. You're saying developer meets contract
For developers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They don't have to be the same sex necessarily, but anyway, no. But it is. I'm saying dating, but we had some fun. The Forbes contributor and me, because we said, why not make an article about dating? between developers and contractors, yeah, putting up a dating portal like that. But the point is, you have a portal where developer meets contractor, developer gets or is offered various options he can actually click on to say what he's able to offer. He can actually set up what he's able to offer, and the contractor can then click on whatever he needs, so that eventually the contractor finds the right developer. Because I mean, the developer is setting up his profile based on what he's offering, yeah, and the contractor is offered these different options, and he goes in and said, I want this, I want this, I want this. So he's actually doing his own little shopping list of needs, and eventually he will get a developer who's actually able to provide that. And CCDK is then the escrow account in between, who is providing that service where contractor is putting up the money, CCK is saying to the developer, go ahead, do the work, and we are then, based on our professional team, able to afterwards say, did he do a correct work according to contract or not, and then hand over the work to contractor. So that's the developer portal, and that will allow really, I mean, imagine when all of this or all these transactions are happening on OpenLedger, yeah, I mean, you're doing all these transactions on OpenLedger and all this. So we have a developer portal active as one of the future ecosystems. So anyone really saying, oh no, CCK is doing another asset. I mean, yes, so what? We're doing an asset because we add extra value to the conglomerate. And by doing that, we add extra value to OpenLedger and the BitShares platform, simply because all of these people will be using the BitShares platform to do their transactions by this, using BitShares as the final, what can you say, as the transaction value, or what can you say, currency?
Clearinghouse.
Yes. So I mean, basically all I'm doing where it might be called something, but in the end, it comes down to using BitShares. And I think people are kind of losing that picture. I mean, whenever you do something like this.
Real quick, Ronnie, somebody said that you were going to be essentially a clearinghouse, and it comes to mind to me something kind of like freelancer for the portal, and then we have for the ICOO, that's kind of like what Tom was talking about, and then you have OBITs, which is the actual token for the DEX, and the BitTeaser tokens. And are these all fee-backed assets, and are they all going to be feeding some of their profits back into OBITs?
Yes, they are all. They are all feeding back to OBITs. That's basically the profit. That's basically the general value, or not, what can you say, what is that? The part of the profit distribution is that a part is going to OBITs. So whatever ecosystem is created, I mean, you see it already with BTSR and ICOO, but you will see it also with the eDev asset. I mean, that's what it's going to be called, yeah, eDev. And by E, it's simply because we use the e-commerce, yeah, the e-commerce idea. So we call it the e-commerce developer platform. So the eDev asset would be adding its profit distribution once again to OBITs, part of the crowd sales, and eventually a percentage of its.
Real quick, just muted you again because of the feedback, Ronnie. But we're sitting at about an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm questioning here: is there any way that you could give us a link or tell us how long there is for people to invest in the ICO, and I'll go ahead and unmute you, and maybe you can answer that question for us.
But I mean, the ICOO is running until the end of this month, yeah, and it has until now. It has tier 2 now, and that's running until the 15th. I think there's 6 days left at least. Then it has another what is that? 15, that means 10 days is tier 3, and the last 5 days is tier 4, and that's it. So at the moment, we're running until the end of this month. We are considering.
Real quick, once again, sorry, Ronnie. There's a little bit of lag, so whenever I stop this, it's cutting you off a little bit with a little bit of a delay. So you are going to be offering multiple phases of this. Now, where are people going to need to go to participate or be part of this if they want to donate or invest into this?
Well, it's very simple. They are all IO domains. So you have obits.io, you have BitTeaser, which is btsr.io, and you have now the ICOO, which is ICOO. That's how we call it ICOO, because the other one is kind of stupid. Yeah, so we cannot say it. We can say ICOO, yeah, or ICOO OpenLedger.io, ICOO.io, yeah. And then of course we have the ones coming up. I forgot to say that we have the, what can you say? We have the obits as the token of OpenLedger. We have BTSR as the token of the BitTeaser advertising platform, and we have ICOO as the asset of the startup and, what can you say, marketing service all over pre-launch ICOs, etc. And we have coming up the edev.io for the e-commerce developers platform, and we even have another one, probably maybe even sooner, which is a gaming platform with a lot of free games, direct access to Google Apps, etc. And that is, we're still considering if that's going out as an asset as such or whatever else, but it might have potential for that as well. But one could imagine that
real quick here, CCDK, sorry to cut you off. We're sitting at about 123, and we always have these hangouts every week, so we can, keep going into this a little bit deeper next week. And what I'll go ahead and say is thank you, but I'm going to try to keep this under an hour and a half, and I do want to open this up for anybody to ask any questions to any of the people who attended today, and that would be including Ronnie, Data, Crypto, obviously Kencode and Chris are not here today. Stan is here if anybody wants to reach out and ask him some questions. I just want to try to real quick get that community question and answer portion in because I know we've done a lot of talking. And thank you, Ronnie.
Sorry about that.
No, that's what we do. We're crypto nerds, so we can sit here and literally talk all day long, right? That's pretty much why we we're sitting at the 159th episode of this. No problem, Stan. Well, does anybody have any questions for the guest speakers who joined up today? I personally would like to ask Data Security Node if he would kindly let us know how people can participate in the next stage of the PeerPlays token purchasing, because to my knowledge, you guys still have some open for people to buy into, right?
Yeah, I'm going to jump in here, Fuzzy. Jonathan had to run very quick because he's got to go pick his wife up, I think. But so to participate in the next phase, you can go to www.peerplays.com. We just had someone put in a fairly large order, it looks like, for about almost $50,000 worth of tokens. So PeerPlays are hot. Get there and get your hands on some if you want to get in on this phase of the pre-sale. I'd have to look up what the numbers are right now, but earlier this morning we had about 60% of this phase remaining, so it's probably considerably less now. yeah, so peerplays.com and of course peerplays.com/news is where you can find all of the videos and all of our running updates as the project goes forward.
Thank you very much, Crypto. And Ronny, you said for anybody who's interested in ICOO, they can go to ICOO.io, correct?
That's correct.
Well, thank you very much to both of you for attending and being guests here to show everybody some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes in BitShares. I chuckled a couple weeks ago when that thread popped up saying, is BitShares dead? Because all of us who attend these know very well that this is just seeming to ramp up and that there's more stuff going on than ever and that it's harder than ever to keep up with all of it. So as people say, is BitShares dead? I kind of I thought to myself, my gosh, what have we done? We need to start trying to get people like you guys to step up and let people know that you're here and that you're doing amazing things with the technology that we have been advocating for over 2.5 years now. So I do want to thank everybody for attending. I want to let everybody know, please consider upvoting the content that is high quality or posting high quality content to steemit.com/Beyond Bitcoin channel. And also consider RSVPing to our next Hangout and letting everybody know if you're planning on updating or being a guest speaker to future conferences, because we want to have this set up using Steemit if possible when we're testing it to see if there's a way that we can make it so the actual audience essentially curates who the guests are going to be. And considering that Steemit is a bunch of BitShares lovers as well, I figure it's a good place for us to start out showing and lobbying for BitShares based projects and projects that would be beneficial to BitShares. And that's a way that I can help leverage Beyond Bitcoin to help all the projects that want to help us get where we're going. And if you guys want to be participating, make sure that you RSVP and we will give you the precedent above those who don't do so. If you want to make sure that you are among the first, make sure that when you post your RSVP that you ask others in the community to upvote it, because the highest upvoted guest speaking RSVP proposals are going to be covered first. So with that said, I want to thank you guys and wrap it up with, are there any questions, comments, or requests for the future?
Kind of missing ByteMaster.
I think that he's pretty busy with the Steam stuff right now, but I'm actually, I'm not going to say that I don't miss ByteMaster attending, but I will say that I think that this is a portion of time where we are in kind of a cocoon phase. Right. ByteMaster had to step away at some point in time, and we all knew that because this has to be decentralized governance, is part of BitShares. So with him being basically like an established leader in the group, yes, we want him to be around to help and everything, but also him stepping back does offer a lot of opportunities for the individuals in our community who have been taking up leadership roles in various areas for long periods of time already, can be looked at and thanked and acknowledged for all of the work that they've put in. And I think that this is a great time to start working on moving in that direction, because I really see a lot of people who bring a lot of value to BitShares. And I think it's important that we as a community make sure that we cover those people and show people who are outsiders looking in that we have a lot of value within our community, and that BitShares future doesn't rest simply with ByteMaster, but with all of us, and that we recognize that. So with that said, this is a shameless plug real quick for the Beyond Bitcoin BitShares All-Stars link here on Steemit. I would ask that you please consider participating in the link that I'm providing right here, because I think that you guys are in a great position to help us point to the individuals who are the leaders of BitShares and the people who are pushing things forward consistently. All right, everybody. Thank you. It sounds like everybody is good to go. And I'm just going to thank you all for your attendance. And I want to let you know that probably within the next 1 to 2 weeks, the ShareBot will be up, and we will be able to start distributing the copper tickets and silver tickets again, which means that those who attend, probably for the first few Hangouts, I'm going to give extra copper tickets to help pay you back for being loyal members of this. And I have some plans for trying to get those Steam dollars bought, those copper, silver, and gold tickets bought back with Steam dollars. A lot of stuff that I would like to do, but we'll look into it as we move forward. The ShareBot will be up and running, though, in the next couple weeks, and we'll be able to start taking attendance again. So everything is moving forward. Thank you, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Fuzzy.
No, thank you,
weekend,
Brindle.
everybody.
You too, Thomas. Oh, one final thing. Don't forget to upvote our Hangouts and our RSVP posts. Whenever you guys upvote them, it brings them to the top so people can find them more easily. So even if you don't have an account that gives a whole lot of money to a post, if you upvote it, it helps people to see it. So thank you very much for your time.
La 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 la.